Friends hosted a banquet to honor veterans with free meals, but now wants to cancel after some attendees asked to not be posted on her social media. Ellen and I have been friends for a few years, and we're both in the same friend group too. Ellen will be graduating with her bachelor's this December, and she's an assistant manager in a fast food joint. She also has a side gig that she's talked about growing post-college, and that is her Instagram/TikTok, where she discusses many events with her opinions. However, she told me, and a few of our friends, that she didn't want a graduation party because she didn't like to celebrate herself, and chose not to have a high school graduation, but that she wanted to do something else with the money her parents wanted to throw a party with. Her parents originally wanted to rent a restaurant room for her party, instead of doing something for herself. She said she felt led to do something for others with the space her parents wanted to rent, and that was a gathering to honor veteran families from her church with a free dinner banquet. She also hoped to invite everyone that her parents wanted to invite to her graduation party. Her parents, both are leaders, liked the idea and brought it to their church, and someone there offered to host the gathering in one of the church's conference rooms to save money, along with offering to pay for some of the food catering too. Ellen said the theme of the party was to honor veterans outside of Veterans Day, and the church announced it during a recent Sunday service along with sign-ups following the service. The church also sent a video she made explaining her motivation for the event in an email newsletter. The video explained that she had veteran relatives that she wanted to honor for some time, and she also posted it to her socials. The video also stated that clips from the event would be posted to her socials afterward. Ellen also explained how she wanted the money her parents planned to spend on her graduation to go to something good instead of nothing because she didn't want a graduation party. She also stated that Facebook's birthday fundraisers gave her the idea to do something for others. Ellen asked our friend group to help decorate and be servers, and many of us volunteered, myself included, because we would have gone to her party if she had one. Ellen also said she received compliments at church for the idea she had post-announcement. Ellen also wanted to do a ceremony where she'd acknowledge each veteran and give them a goodie bag. She asked us to help with goodie bag ideas. However, when her parents informed her that some people, who signed up through the church, told the church that they didn't want to be on social media, it led to a change in Ellen's demeanor that led to me making this post. To clarify, some people, less than 5, didn't feel comfortable being online. So when Ellen planned to call each veteran onto the stage to give them a gift, some people wanted to be edited out of walking on stage. Ellen vented to our group about how the church asked for certain people to be edited out of the ceremony recording before posting to social media, and Ellen planned to record with her equipment. The church even offered to have the church's video editors edit her video to make it easier, along with offering to record it on church cameras too, but she was upset because she didn't want to split video credit nor heed those requests. She said that the people who requested were being entitled when they were receiving free food. But when her parents told her that she was being unreasonable, she said she should have never created the event and didn't want to be told how to make her videos. She also said she'd rather cancel because the veterans should be thanking her instead of complaining. But when her parents said that video consent was important when posting online, she told them to cancel the banquet, but was told that it wasn't completely in their hands after getting the church involved and using their venue/help with catering costs, along with people already signed up. When one of our friends asked if the point of the event was to honor veterans as she originally said, she said the event would have been about her if she had a graduation. But when I said that honoring the request seemed proper to do, she questioned if I was on her side. She also said she shouldn't do something nice for others if she wasn't getting anything out of it. She then said we were done volunteering because she was going to have it cancelled. But when we suggested calming down before canceling emotionally, she didn't like that either. However, what made me most disappointed was when she made a video stating that her parents didn't allow her to have a graduation party, thus why she created the Veterans Party as an alternative, although she was suppressing how she felt. She also said she planned to sue for emotional distress if they didn't cancel the banquet at the church, and she deleted her previous videos discussing the party when some of us reached out to her afterward. She admitted to one of our friends that she lied in the video about not being allowed to have a graduation party, to try and stop the banquet, and hearing that changed my opinion of her. The party is scheduled for January, and many of us have already begun helping with preparations, not to mention those who already signed up to attend. I'm sorry my post was long, but this is my question. What would be the best way to handle this situation? We previously met at Ellen's home to discuss decorations/goodie bag ideas, but that was before Ellen's change, and some of us, myself included, are still supposed to be servers. I'm debating reaching out to her parents to see if she's alright/the status of the party, because some of our friends think she's struggling with some sort of emotional breakdown, but a few others think she only cared about making the video her way/getting views. If Ellen is truly suffering, I want to help her. I'm going to call her parents to see if she's alright, but we've never seen her act like this before. I also don't believe in ghosting the commitment, so that's another reason I'm going to call them. But if anyone has any other advice, I'd really appreciate it, as I'm open to anything, and thanks to anyone who read all of that too. Update 1. I said I was going to call Ellen's parents after Ellen didn't return 2 calls I made after questioning if I was on her side during her rant about regretting creating the banquet. A few of the others in our friend group also called because we didn't believe in ghosting a commitment, and we had already begun creating giveaways/decoration ideas previously with Ellen. When I called, I decided to call her mom. We'll call her Joy. I told her that I called to ask about the banquet status along with how Ellen was doing / told us not to volunteer anymore, and she said she appreciated me calling. She also said she was aware of Ellen's video slandering them and asked her to remove it, but hasn't as of yet. She said they were going through a lot as a family, but that she appreciated me inquiring after I told her I didn't believe in ghosting commitments. She confirmed that the banquet was still on and that she'd still love for us to volunteer because canceling would be wrong to everyone involved and especially the veteran families attending. She also confirmed the argument Ellen said she had with them about canceling. She also said she and her husband were debating how to handle the video / her recent behavior. They told Ellen she was overreacting to a simple request to edit 2 veterans out of the video when there were dozens of people signed up. When I told her that many of us were supposed by Ellen's sudden shift, she told me something I never knew. When Ellen decided not to have a high school graduation when they offered to throw her one, she began complaining after hearing how some friends received a lot of money at their graduations. So when they asked if she still wanted a graduation party albeit much later into the summer than they would have initially, she blamed them for not throwing one for her instead of asking because she hated planning parties for herself. So when she declined, they offered to take her to dinner with a few friends if she wanted something smaller, but she said no and that it was too late. So when it came to her college graduation, they were certain she'd want one this time, but was surprised when she didn't. Joy said she made a mistake by enabling Ellen when Ellen blamed her indecisiveness on them. They did give her a graduation gift though. However, she said she wasn't giving into her tantrum this time by canceling the party after getting others involved. Yes, this banquet was entirely Ellen's idea, and yes, it never would have been created without her. However, Joy said that wasn't a reason to disrespect everyone she got involved. When Ellen told her parents how she wanted to honor relatives who were veterans that she was close with, she also told them she felt led by God to do it, and they thought it was a wonderful idea if she wasn't comfortable with a party for herself. However, in light of her tantrum about refusing to share video editing credit the church never asked for, and gave Ellen the choice to edit the veterans out herself, because she felt offended by the veterans' request, Joy said it was her fault for not teaching her earlier to not be entitled and to accept advice / constructive criticism, and she said she should have put her foot down a long time ago. They fully paid for her tuition to go to college, and they're, rightfully, insulted about her threat to sue them. I told her that Ellen admitted to a friend that she lied in the video to stop the banquet, and Joy said it'd be good for Ellen to learn now that she won't always get her way before getting married and being a queen when planning her wedding someday, and she said she spoke to a few others in our friend group about still volunteering too. So as of now, I'm still volunteering, and I consider my friendship with Ellen over. I'll definitely update after the banquet, and I appreciate the comments reinforcing my beliefs to follow through on the commitment. But there's one more thing I wanted to add. I'm not personally religious, but I've volunteered in the past. I enjoy doing it and simply saw this as a volunteer event in a church, and I've done previous food drives connected to churches when I was younger. I hope the event goes well and that Ellen comes to her senses, but even if it requires this situation to learn she can't always get her way, maybe that'll help her long term. I've called her a few more times since my first post as a last-ditch effort, but she never answered. Still update 2. Ellen posted another video over the weekend that doubled down on her previous one, where she threatened to sue her parents if they didn't cancel the banquet. In her new video, she threatened to sue the church if they didn't cancel the banquet, and tagged the church's social too, a different tone from her previous video where she threatened to sue her parents. She didn't take back her threat to sue her parents, but she added something else that changed the story from her previous video. She reiterated how her parents didn't allow her to have a graduation party as she said in her previous video, and admitted to our friend was a lie to try and have the banquet stopped, but added that the reason was because her parents received an opportunity to host a veterans banquet at the church, and that made them decide to fund the banquet instead of her party that they promised her before getting approval. In Ellen's previous video, she stated that the veterans banquet was her idea. But in her latest one, it was more so her parents than hers, and she went along with it because she wanted to do something when she couldn't have, but in truth didn't want, a graduation party. Our friend group is pretty much done with her. I'm officially done with her, but a few others are hoping she comes to her senses, and one even posted a comment pointing out how her story changed from her previous video, only for Ellen to delete the comment soon after. I forgot to mention this last time after speaking to Ellen's mother, Joy, but Joy said that Ellen admitted to throwing out the goodie bags some of my friends helped create at her home, so we began working on an alternative. After reading some of the comments, including many more that came from a repost to Baru, many people, including veterans, said that Ellen's idea to have vets come on stage for a goodie bag was cringy, and only for her social media purposes, and I brought that suggestion to my friends. So now that Ellen's removed from the event, we're going to replace the goodie bag with a different giveaway. One of my friends, John, thought of. John's dad is a fast food manager and offered to investigate getting custom coupons made for the event, and will investigate assembling a giveaway bag full of useful coupons from other local sponsors. Ellen's goodie bag would have contained a personal note Ellen wrote along with candies / other things, and we think this is much more useful. In addition, no one will come on stage to receive them as they will be placed on their tables. We're also considering not recording the event because the focus should be honoring the veterans. Joy also stated, in our last call that I forgot to mention, that she doubts Ellen's veteran relatives will attend in light of everything with Ellen, But we have a commitment to the veterans who signed up through the church, and we hope to keep it come January. At worst, we'll try to send her veteran relatives something in the mail, but we haven't figured out what to send them yet, since the sponsorships we're trying to get would be local and some of them are out of town. If anyone has any ideas, we'll be more than open to them. I haven't heard anything from Joy or the church in regards to the church's response to Ellen's video, but I will make an edit if I hear anything soon. Update 3. I didn't plan to update again so soon, but something else happened that needs to be added. To put it frankly, the banquet is no longer happening due to something else Ellen did. When I made my previous update, it was after Ellen posted a second video threatening to sue her church after her first video threatened to sue her parents. However, we just learned that she also sent DMs to certain veterans, including the 2 veterans who asked to not be recorded among others, telling them not to attend while using profanity due to her parents stealing her idea and not letting her have a graduation party to fund the banquet, things she admitted were lies in the past, to one of our friends in my first post, simply to have the banquet cancelled. Thing is, she changed her story again just like she did in her first and second video, so nothing's been consistent with her in the DMs. Ellen stated that the banquet was now her idea. She said it was her parents in her previous videos, that she wanted to host separately from her graduation party. She also said her parents stole her idea and decided to fund the banquet instead of a graduation party. However, she also threatened them to not attend because she'd mention whoever attended in a video in addition to suing them, just like she did when she threatened to sue her parents/church, and she used a bit of vulgarity too. Our friend group used to meet at her parents' home to make the goodie bags/decorations that she tossed, but we learned about this when Joy and her husband met us at a friend's home that became our new place to brainstorm briefly after Ellen's departure. Long story short, some veterans told the church about the DM/threats, and the church leaders came to a decision out how to handle it due to the threats and the possibility of Ellen showing up and making things awkward. The church has decided to cancel the banquet because the situation has gotten out of control. Some veterans who reached out also said they were considering not attending as a result, and the church didn't want anyone to feel that way. So instead of paying for catering like they planned, the church and Ellen's parents were both paying for it. They decided to purchase $25 multi-restaurant gift cards so that the veteran families who were coming can eat in peace on their own terms, and some of the restaurants include Olive Garden and Outback Steakhouse among others. The banquet was for families that had current and past veterans, and they believe it's the best way to avoid further escalation. In addition, the church already has a yearly tradition of honoring veterans on the nearest Sunday to Veterans Day by having them stand up. They do the same for mothers on Mother's Day, during service, and giving them a gift afterwards. They also said they might do their own Veterans Dinner closer to Veterans Day in the future, but probably not soon or next year to put some distance between Ellen's mess being fresh in everyone's mind. The church already does a Christmas dinner for the congregation where they also sing Christmas carols, so they are capable of doing it on their own terms. The church also gave our friend group gift cards. Joy gave them to us, as thanks for our help leading up to Ellen's meltdown. But we never got to kick things into high gear before her meltdown happened aside from goodie bags/decorations. Personally, I'm really surprised by how the church handled it and planned to de-escalate the situation, and I can't think of a better way they could have. Joy also apologized to us for the drama that came so close to Christmas. Ellen's second video threatening the church was last weekend, and they told us that the church also banned Ellen from their premises and may do more if she continues harassing their congregation. Joy said it was hard because Ellen was dedicated in that church as an infant and involved growing up too, baptized as a teen, youth group and children's choir, and she might consider going to a new church so that they can attend as a family in the future, if Ellen wants, but probably not soon because her husband is still serving a term on a board. Someone asked if everything was okay with Ellen's mental health, but Joy said that there were other tantrums Ellen had in high school years that we didn't see, and we only learned of the high school graduation party drama last weekend that we weren't aware of. She thanked all of us for wanting to help post Ellen's meltdown, and I felt really bad for them along with some others in our group. But some people commented that some of it was likely on her parents for raising Ellen somewhat entitled, but Joy admitted that she didn't put her foot down enough in my last update when I called her, and she echoed similar sentiments to our friend group too. I want to thank everyone who commented with awesome advice on gaining sponsorships for the event, and maybe it'll come in handy in the future. We didn't even get to start, but I think the gift card alternative is better given the circumstances. Some of our friend group disagreed and said that the church should have done the event anyway as a statement to Ellen, but I agree with the church not wanting to escalate while appeasing veterans who were considering dropping out. We are all done with Ellen as friends, but some of us, myself included, are hoping she comes around to her senses somehow. Update 4. I'm updating because Ellen made a new video. And while my friends and I were disgusted with her recent actions, her new video brought about some concerns. Her demeanor was different than her other videos, and she mostly vented while seeming somewhat depressed. In her new video, she said that the banquet being cancelled helped our mental health because it was making her angry. She also said that girls only have 3 days where everything is about them: sweet 16, high school graduation, and wedding, and she made a mistake in surrendering her graduation for random veterans. She also opened up about something new, and that was anxiety regarding her sweet 16. She said she was excited in the lead up to her sweet 16, years ago, but that she felt uncomfortable being the center of attention when she came out, in her dress, during the walk-in and turned around to run into the bathroom and hide, had a panic attack. She said she didn't know why she reacted that way, and her parents tried to push her to come back out to the party. But when she refused and was embarrassed, her parents ended the party early/abruptly and later had her prayed over during an altar call at church in the aftermath of the Sweet 16. She said she beat herself up for ruining one of the only opportunities to have a day entirely about her. And when her parents offered to throw a high school graduation party later, she said she wanted to have one, but declined due to fear of not knowing why had a panic attack previously and not wanting it to happen again. However, when she later learned how much money her friends gained from cards/gifts at their graduation parties, it made her regret not having one, which made her angry again. By the time she wanted one, it was late summer with people about to leave for college. But when her parents offered to throw a last-minute party so she could be celebrated/collect gifts, her parents gifted her money for her graduation way before, according to her. She declined because the moment passed. And when they offered to take her and some friends to a restaurant instead, she declined again, which led to her wanting to hurt herself for originally declining. But she didn't go into specific details, so when her college graduation rolled around, her parents asked if she wanna a party months before, like they offered a high school graduation party. But she said no because she wasn't comfortable celebrating herself, as she told our friends in my first post. But instead of having the money her parents planned to spend on her go to waste, she created the Veterans Banquet, which seemed like a beautiful idea at the time. However, in her new video, she explained her change of heart. She said she truly wanted to celebrate herself, but that she wasn't sure if it would trigger a panic attack again. So she decided to celebrate herself under the guise of celebrating veterans, which she thought would ease her trauma by making them the center of attention, but she had a change of heart midway. When some veterans asked not to be shown on video, it made her realize that no one would tell her what to do if she had a graduation party instead, and that she gave away power by not making it all about her. So that triggered her, along with something else. Around the same time, she said she threw away 2 opportunities to make everything about her with only a wedding remaining, and there was no guarantee of a wedding happening, unlike the other 2, Sweet 16, graduations. And when her parents refused to cancel the banquet after veteran families signed up to attend, unlike how they accommodated her request to abruptly end her Sweet 16 during her panic attack, she said it made her angry to know that veterans were benefiting off of a day that was supposed to be all about her if she had a graduation party, and she realized she may never get a third day in a wedding. She said that wants to hurt herself sometimes and that she doesn't want therapy because it's too late. I called her mom again after the video to try and encourage her to push for therapy, with her admitting how she wants to hurt herself, and she said she would try. I also want to add that comments were disabled on the video and that she seemed distraught unlike her previous ones, and I found myself worried for her with this new info. I hope she is able to get the help she needs, and others in my friend group were incredibly worried by the video too. Some of us tried calling her again too, but many of us are now blocked. Her mother assured me that she and other relatives were trying to help her, so I will update if anything comes from it. Update 5. I'm not going to say this is my last post anymore because every time I do, Ellen makes a new video lol. However, I will not make an update for every video she makes unless it's substantial, like the reason I'm here today. Ellen made a new video stating that she was mistaken in thinking she blew her chance to have a graduation party due to her emotions about everything. And if she would have had one like she should have all along, it would have been in the spring because she finished college in the fall semester, and the Veterans Banquet was slated for January because that was the availability the church had. So she'll be throwing herself a graduation party in the spring, although I don't know who'd attend or pay for it after all the relationships she's soured. Maybe relatives who have no clue about her social/church life that her parents would rather not tell, is my guess. Additionally, she said she was bothered by how the veterans still benefited from her canceled event by the church giving each family a $25 gift card as compensation for canceling/her DMing some veterans threats to not attend the banquet that was continuing without her involvement, and she said she might still sue the church for giving gift cards, although she'd have no grounds to. Her latest video didn't address any of the mental health stuff mentioned in her previous video. And while I'm not dismissing the possibility of the Sweet 16 breakdown she previously mentioned, along with the possibility of her parents not seeking medical treatment and instead opting for an altar call as she stated. Although, at the same time, she could have made it up since she's lied in previous videos, it's not an excuse to be an asshole, as many pointed out in the Baru subreddit, and the guidance given there has really helped, dating back to older updates when I asked for event planning suggestions, after Ellen dropped out and the banquet was going to go on without her before it got cancelled. I've also blocked her on all socials, and her latest video was shown to me by one of my friends. But I put blame on Ellen for the threatening DMs along with her parents for seeking church help instead of medical attention after her Sweet 16 breakdown. So if anything good comes out of these posts, it'd be worth it if even one person saw the importance of finding/encouraging medical attention instead of not taking it seriously, like Ellen's parents, who told one of my friends, after her latest video, that there was no point to Ellen getting a diagnosis now and that Ellen needed a change of scenery in a new church. I can only wonder what could have happened if she received help after her Sweet 16, and it sucks that she doesn't have a better family support circle. I've suggested to her parents to try and have her see someone, but I couldn't get through to them as stated in previous posts. I can only hope that someone gets through because I'm honestly scared for her future at this rate due to how unstable she sounds, and I'm holding on to hope that anyone can change once hitting rock bottom, no matter how far they've fallen.